All right. Good scrimmage on Saturday in terms of execution, in terms of attention to detail. Gained some ground in that aspect. Not exactly where we want to be yet, but effort standpoint, execution standpoint, making explosive plays on both sides of the ball really stood out more than anything else. The offense made some big plays, chunk plays in the run, and more in the pass game than in the run game. And the defense made some big plays. Actually scored twice in the scrimmage. So overall, again, I think our guys are more comfortable with our schemes. We're playing football, just literally putting the ball out there, playing ball, working special teams in between everything, and getting a lot of reps for a lot of the young guys and trying to build some depth, right? Because during this time of year, that's the most difficult part. Really kind of functioning with anywhere from 7 to 8 linemen due to a couple guys that are banged up. But that's the way it is, right? In the NFL, they usually carry that or a little bit less. But overall progress, we really are highlighting the details about being more physical. That was yesterday's meeting as a team, picking out plays that showed what we want to be, what we're trying to get to in terms of scratching and clawing and fighting for an extra inch, a yard, a first down, and while making sure that the ball security is intact, while making sure we're not violating our tempo rules and going fast, and that we're limiting unselfish play, unselfish penalties, that we're promoting unselfishness and eliminating selfish penalties.
You seen improvement from scrimmage one to scrimmage two in any particular areas that you're hoping to see?
The biggest thing is the efficiency of the pass game. I mean, really, really efficient with the ball. Ball is out quick. Protection-wise, we improved tremendously, fixed some of the issues that we had in the first scrimmage. It was good to see a guy like Ryan Walk jump in there at center and have a great command of the offense. It's good to see guys like Popo come out there and give us some real production at the nose tackle position. Guys like Billy Gibson, Keith Sims, continues to stand out as a physical presence. Diamador and Thomas really played well at corner. Two guys are really becoming dependable, hard hitting, physical cover guys that could do a lot of things with. So, and Ugo is, an ultra valuable guy because he knows the system inside and out in multiple positions. I can't say enough about Jordan, guys like Shane Lemieux that have really taken that role as a guy that wants to set the tone, that wants to set the tone every single practice. And both quarterbacks, after Justin, both Braxton and Tyler, have really shown that they're ready to compete. They are making plays, and we're putting them in tough situations, and they've come through. They've performed. We still got to fix a few things, right? Dawood Davis, the guy I have to mention. Dawood really one of the biggest plays in Saturday's scrimmage. One of the biggest plays, and his speed really showed. And if you watch Dawood in the weight room and how he approaches a daily routine, this guy's hungry and driven to be really, really good. So he stood out a bunch. Jalen Red, again, stood out as another guy, a guy that can make a lot of plays for us in different roles. And our tempo got better, which was another point of emphasis. We kind of were slugging around a little bit scrimmage one. Our tempo got a lot better, and our personnel, our misplaced personnel packages, as well as our substitutions, got a lot more efficient, and we eliminated penalties in those areas.
With Royce and Kanai gone, the backfield.
They're gone.
I don't know. Maybe they can come back.
Where's compliance? One more year, man. One more year.
What?
Yeah.
How would you kind of describe what the backfield's like? And I know you want it to be physical, but you do have
Yeah.
some smaller issues.
They are smaller. They are smaller. Royce, you've seen Royce for a long, long time. How we might have an extra guy in the box, and Royce takes care of him by running through him. And the same thing with Kanai. Both those guys will make really good NFL backs. Our backs are smaller, but we demand the same kind of physicality. They still have to block on pass pro. They're still going to have to fill the A gap and take on a Mike linebacker at 230 pounds, running full speed, and they've got to be able to protect and maintain their leverage and anchor down at the line of scrimmage. So, is it a challenge for them? Some of it is. The flip side is if you miss on them, they're gone. Okay, so there is a flip side. They might be a little bit smaller, and their power is not quite what those other guys were, but their elusiveness, a guy like Taj, TBJ, Travis and CJ. Cyrus. Cyrus had a big scrimmage on Saturday, and he's the guy that has more size to him, so we got to rep him more. But overall, we're pleased with the way those guys are coming along. Now, mind you, we are all over them about ball security because it's not good enough. It's not even close to what it needs to be. But they're progressing, and Coach Mastro, you've seen the way he coaches. He's on them hard, and he's very disciplined and very demanding, and it's starting to pay off.
You anticipate having a feature back in 18 to 20 carry a guy game?
Yeah, but I tell them all the time, they make those decisions by what they put on tape. You'd love to have that. At the same time, if you have backs like we have that aren't, real big guys, but yet are really effective, you can substitute them and use a total of 4 or 5 as you would 1 or 2. So it's not really a concern. It's kind of a bonus in that aspect. But at some point in time, guys have to separate, right? Through their play, through the way they are consistent from a mental standpoint and the way they are in their performance. And they're responsible for their own self-determination. We tell them that all the time. So we expect them to take that jump. So the competition has been pretty thick. It's been fierce, and it's got to be. And it's only made that group better.
How little did you know Justin a year ago, and how much has that evolved over the last 5 months?
Justin?
Herbert.
Everybody really became well acquainted with Justin, and especially as an offensive line coach and a run game coordinator, protections are so important. We'd spent a pretty good amount of time reviewing protections because you've seen how at times he sees pressure coming on one front side or the other, and he can flip the protection, he could repoint a mic, he could redirect the center, get us to an advantage play. So pretty good amount of time, and he's, as you know him, he's a reserved yet strong leader who's got kind of magnetic personality guy, so we kind of like the guy.
He's a third-year starter now, but he hasn't played. Probably played just about one full season. You see kind of that. Where is he? And you feel like he's a third-year starter in terms of experience, and where's he at?
Well, I don't know exactly what that means. I know that he's an excellent football player that wants to get better, and he has to get better. I mean, for us to sit back and tell him, hey, you're doing great, we're good, would be the biggest injustice we could do to Justin Herbert. We have to find ways to challenge him, make him better, put him in difficult situations, because teams are going to do that, right? If you want to attack Oregon, how would you attack them defensively, right? You'd make sure that you put a lot of pressure on number 10 and make him uncomfortable. So we have to continue to challenge him to get every single position on the field. He must know it inside and out so he could own the entire offensive playbook and really have complete control of it.
Was Jim's experience with the pistol one of the attractions for you, and do you see that being sort of your guys' base offense?
Well, it's definitely a huge point of emphasis in the spring because it's another aspect, but we're very multiple. I mean, we're, at times you might even see us under center every now and then, but we're a gun, pistol, offset, back type of operation. We have tempo, and sometimes we slow it down. We have 3 different kinds of tempo, but we go fast. We go fast, and the addition of the pistol gives us a couple things that I think are really hard to defend, and we're trying to continue to evolve, right? If you come back the exact same way the year before, you're going to have a difficult time, and that's our job, and that was part of it, going out and spending time at other places of some of the more successful programs and NFL teams in the country last year, and just studying some of the things offensively that could add to our regimen. We did, and we added, and it's shown up pretty well here in spring ball.
What's the lifespan of offense in college football? In other words, how often do you have to kind
got
of
some good
evolve
ones
what
today,
you're-
man. These are good. The lifespan of an offense. Well, good offenses, they stand the test of time, but they always bring a wrinkle the following year or as the season progresses. So I think base concepts forever. They never ever change. I think wrinkles, rule breakers, situational football, I think the best example we're all talking about is a 4th down play by the Eagles, right? I mean, haven't seen that one in a while, but the local high school ran it, So the wrinkles, I think, will always be at the forefront of off-season, professional development, but I think your base, your staple plays will always be what they are.
How accurate would it be to say that you're ahead of where you were last year at this time? You had a winning season. I assume you're optimistic you're going to do a lot more than that.
Well, what happens is with familiarity cannot be confused or allowed to slip into being lackadaisical and letting human nature take over. That's what we're on guard about 24/7, is making sure that we understand that this whole football thing, I mean, there's another 100 and plus teams practicing today, the exact same way, with a lot of hope, a lot of optimism. So we have to do what we do better than what our opponents do, and we have to invest the right kind of time, and we have to be teachers. That's the biggest point of emphasis to the coaches, right? We can get yellers and screamers, out of anywhere. We need teachers, we need guys that are great mentors, we need guys that reach our players, that connect with our players, so we can continue advancing and know our stuff inside and out. And then we've got to be the team that, at all costs, we're going to play harder and find a way to make sure we get to the ball better than anybody else.
We spoke to Tyler today for the first time. What did you kind of see this?
Tyler's a very talented guy. And obviously him and Braxton are going toe-to-toe, knocking each other, back and forth to try to fight to see who gets in the game first. Tyler's really talented. He's really smart. What stands out about him most in the offseason, he's a relentless competitor. He is not afraid to jump in there drill to drill, whether it be an agility drill, a bag drill, something involving, I don't know, some of our fourth quarter program stuff. He's not afraid and doesn't flinch when he's challenged. You could coach him hard, which, right, you have to with a quarterback because their mistakes can change the whole momentum of a game. So him and Braxton, they're what you want, at that position. Competitors that are tough and hard-nosed and that want to get better.
Have you put any thought into the rotations for the spring game for those two?
They'll get probably even reps. They'll be right in there. And we want everybody to play for the spring game. That's the best part about the spring game, right? Everybody in there, everybody making plays, have an opportunity to make plays. And it goes in line with what we're trying to do in the spring is find a role for everybody on the team. And some guys are starters and all Pac-12 players, and some guys are going to be great scout team players. But we have to define a role and find a role for everybody. And we need everybody, all right? And that includes everybody on staff as well. I mean, you see even our equipment guys. Kenny Farr's got those guys sprinting back and forth, placing balls down, setting up equipment. Because, again, it's going to take everybody to make sure the culture is exactly what we need it to be.